Hey, how's it going? Welcome back. Yeah, so as I mentioned in my last video, I'm going to be showing a package that was sent to me by my good friend Mika, aka Dr. October, aka Dr. Ass. A few times a year, we send each other a box full of records, um, and it seemed to work well so far. We both get things we've never heard before and usually end up enjoying. It's really good for me because being the fact that he's located in Greece, he sends me Greek punk and hardcore, which I don't have a lot of, and that's mainly because of the language barrier and not so much the spoken language because I'll try anything, whatever. But I the Greek alphabet, it's it makes no sense to me. I can't read it. So you could hold up Greek punk or hardcore records in front of me, and just by the cover, I have no idea what the hell it is. So this, when he sends me these things, it forces me to research them and find out. Spending a little more time than normal on the research aspect of it, which will explain why during this video I will for sure be consulting notes that I have right in front of me, um, because it's all Greek to me. So yeah. Anyways, he Mika also did a video showing the stuff that I sent him, so I'll put that in the comments. So, anyways, let's do it. Starting her out with two cassettes that he sent me. First is a Greek band called Apofora. It's a self-titled cassette. It's from 2023, and it's co-released by like four labels: Body Blows, Dale of Shadows, Nothing to Harvest, and Vita Detestabilis, which may or may not be pronounced properly. Don't care. So this is this is it's like a black metal hardcore hybrid, like a more perfect one I've never heard. It's got the fast blasting, insane, frenzied, parts that you would associate normally with black metal, but then it it hits like slower passages where it's almost psychedelic in a way. It reminds me a lot in the slower parts. It reminds me a lot of that Norwegian band Vedboyens, who I always thought were kind of more interesting than most. It sounds like that, which you know may not make sense to any of you, but whatever. Go. Check out the song "I Sang for the Swans." I think that's what it's called, by Vedboyens, and you'll know what I mean. Um, Now the vocals, they have that angry, furious, hissy kind of witch vocals that most black metal has. But the second vocal type is what makes this interesting, and it's just straight up, without a doubt, hardcore vocals. Um, Kind of reminds me a lot of like South American hardcore, like stuff like Fora DC, DFC, Eterna Innocencia. Like it's very strong, kind of nasally, a slightly higher register without getting crazy. Um, it Yeah, it's just even maybe some of the Swedish stuff, the Swedish like straight up, maybe like '90s hardcore stuff, like uh, Breach and you know 59 times the pain, like Raised Fist, like not without being actually straight edge, but just I don't know, just straight up hardcore, solid, breathy, very very powerful. Um, yeah, this actually took me by surprise because I looked at it and I figured it was going to be some atmospheric black metal recording, and it's actually much more than that. So I would definitely seek out more stuff by this band, but I don't think anything else exists so far. So yeah, Apofora, this is good. Second cassette, grindcore band, Vile Species. It's called Disqualified as a Human. Um, Record label this is on has one of the greatest names ever. It is Septic Aroma of Reeking Stench. Get that into you. It's from 2024. Really tight grindcore. It alternates between like with that glare. It alternates between the just the super fast breakneck, unrelenting parts. But when it hits the slow parts, it's almost like Toxic Waltz, like two-step mosh parts. But I'm usually not a huge fan of that. But they do it so briefly that you don't really have time to get sick of it. It's just done very well. Just all in all, this entire record, even though it's a grindcore record, and a lot of people think that's a kind of a tired and overplayed genre, it works, and it keeps everything brief and concise. It's well written. It's got the two different kinds of vocals. It's got the like the angry, the angry auctioneer staccato kind of vocals, and then it just goes right into the angry, like satanic fucking wild boar on steroids vocals. So it's pretty crazy. It's not a really long recording. It's good. Like I said, it's concise, to the point, and it's good. I'd buy more by them. So yeah, it's Vile Species. Okay, 1/7-inch. It's a band called Krayat. The title, when deciphered, is in English is Paranoia for Breakfast, What's for Dinner. It's on Ausiader Productia, which is the same label that released the newest Muro LP. This is from 2024, and it has an awesome cover. I like that quite a bit. It's a risograph, which it's kind of a cross between silk screening and stenciling. It's just feels weird. It's got a kind of a cool texture to it. Comes with a poster inside, which I'm not going to unfurl. It's very interesting, like hardcore punk. It's mostly on the up tempo side of things. It's got really cool lead guitar accompaniment. Like the leads will follow along like longer than you would expect them to. And as a result, it kind of reminds me of a band like English Dogs without being quite as metal as English Dogs. But if you liked English Dogs, you would definitely like this. It's it's kind of driving, and like I said, the guitar leads are kind of unexpected, and this is just all in all, it's a good record that took me off guard, and I've never ever heard of this band before. So it's got like the kind of tortured gravelly vocals that we all know and love. So if you're into that kind of stuff, check it out. Krayat. All right, on to the big records. First, this one is from 2020. It was released by a label called the Action Mutant Collective. And it's a self-titled LP by a band called Ouch. This, right off the bat, reminded me of a band from the Netherlands. I believe that's where they're from. From like, the 90s, called Fleas and Lice. This is just straight up, punk. Like there's no metal influence to it. It's just straight up punk. You got male vocals, you got female vocals, that both kind of have a bit of an urgent kind of melodic sound to them. It's mostly kind of up tempo. It does slow down a little bit. But yeah, like I said, it kind of reminds me of Fleas and Lice, who were on Profane Existence. So there's a good chance a lot of you may have heard of them. But yeah, Ouch. the back photo of the guy hacking at darts, pretty funny. All right, next up, it's a band, another Greek band, and they're actually from Thessaloniki, Greece. And I only say that because I wanted to say the word Thessaloniki out loud. It's a band whose name translates to Headlock, and the LP title translates to Balkan Mausoleum. It's co-released by a few labels. Extreme Ear Slaughter, who I believe did that Yakuza LP, which was super good. Walk the Line, Scarecrow Records, and Punkin' Loud. It's from 2024. It's got a cool cover. As I said, the band's called Headlock. It's grindcore. It's like blazing grindcore. It's got kind of gruff, strained vocals, very forceful, solid riffs to this. The blistering fast parts are done really well, but they have their fair share of like slower parts that that are just made up of like a good repetitive riff. Um, they've definitely mastered that aspect of it. A lot of times with the grindcore stuff, I like the faster parts better, but this is one where the slow parts definitely don't detract from it at all. So yeah, I'm into it. Thessaloniki. All right, another Greek band. This one is from 2024. It's on a label called Chaos Nonconformism. And this is my favorite, I think, of the records that he sent. It's a band called Plektani. The title translates out to Artistic Concerns. The drummer, I believe, from Chain Cult plays in this band. This is it's heavy. It's it's got a D beat influence to it without being like a total D beat record, like in the way that maybe Totalitar is. Like they have a bit of a D beat feel to them, but Totalitar is decidedly not a straight up D beat band. I would even be as daring to say that this is the Greek Totalitar because it's that style and it is that good. It's tight. It's got good production. No problem with that. Plektani vocals, gruff, strained, like as is the case with most of this kind of thing. But yeah, this is really really good. So yeah, Plektani. And then lastly, since Mika is from Finland, we have a Finnish record. Now he sent me this band's second record a while back, and I enjoyed it because it's weird and kind of unique in a way. Um, it's a band called H.C. Anderson, which I'm guessing is Hans Christian Andersen. The record is called Satuja ja Tarinoita, which I probably butchered a little bit. It means what is it? Fairy tales, some about fairy tales and stories. So yeah. Now this this is it's a hardcore band, but it's very like they're very offbeat. They remind me a lot of a German band called Les Scrawl, um, who are they're kind of goofy. This band though uses a freaking a marimba and a vibraphone, which if you don't know what those are, they're they're basically like a xylophone's brain damaged cousin. Like they're just weird and they're unorthodox, and you wouldn't expect them to be in this kind of music, which kind of in a way borders on grindcore almost, while still being decidedly punk. Uh, Singer died in like 2002, so there won't be any more of that. Um, there's members in here from a band called Turviscasus, who I'm familiar with, and Disgrace, who I'm also familiar with, and then some other bands that I am not familiar with. But yeah, just kind of short, somewhat fast songs with a marimba and vibraphone and vocals that veer off to Cookie Monster territory without deciding to go like full Muppet. They kind of hold back just shy of that, but I don't know. Yeah, that's it. So I was pretty happy to get this because you know had the second one. It was cool. And now I have the first one, and it's also cool. So I don't know, Mika, is it worth like digging into the other stuff beyond this, or what? I forgot. I suppose I could ask you myself, but I'm asking you here. So yeah. Anyways, thanks a lot to Mika for sending me all this stuff, and I've already got a good head start on your next package. So yeah, we'll get that when it's the time. So anyways, thanks for watching. Yeah, later.